I can't do this video, it's noisy, way too noisy. My wife's home teaching, my daughters are in class, I hear a lot of noise, but I have to do an update on the Tudor black base steel 41. First of all, I got to tell you how I got this in my hands. I'll be wearing it for about a month. So Lee emailed me a couple weeks ago. He said, would you like to review one of my watches, an Oris Aquis? And I thought to myself, sure, why not? So yesterday I opened up the box, it said Oris Aquis on top of the dial. I looked at the dial. It was a 41 millimeter, but 15 millimeters thick. It was a Tudor black base steel GMT. GMTs are thick. I thought he made a mistake. I didn't know, I don't know what was up. Why would you do such a thing? So I photographed the watch on my camera, my phone camera, send him an email with an attachment of the image. I go, hey man, is this a mistake? Because I got a $4,500 watch. And, you know, do you need me to rush it back to you? No problem, dude. So he emails me back and says, hey, McMahon, I knew you would never want to take my Tudor for a month to review, so I tricked you. I deceived you. Now that you have it, I want you to wear it for a month. Maybe, I'm just summarizing now, I'm paraphrasing. Maybe you'll see the magic of this Swiss beauty, and you'll understand what it means to sell some of your mid-tier watches and get something like this. And I want you to compare this to your mid-tier watches. You know, you're into the Seiko world. And he said to me, you know, I miss having a variety of mid-tier watches, but I enjoy having something like this. And one of the things that really surprised me about this was the wrist presence. And the last time I had wrist presence like this is when I had the Orient Saturation Diver. I think I know why I sold the OSD. I would always be a little lukewarm on the bracelet of it. The build quality was fine, but it looked boring. So I'd always put a Super Engineer on it. And that Super Engineer made it so heavy. It was really laborious to wear that all day. So I would sell those. Now you can't get them unless you want to fork out $2K. So what I should have done, if I would have been smart, but I've been a very dumb watch hobbyist, I should have bought like a Hexad or an N-Mill, and I should have kept it because this really brings that wrist presence magic of the Orient Saturation Diver. I can't believe it's 41. I was so excited that I went into Watch City to talk to Rafi about this, and he just said, oh yeah, this looks great on you. And I told him, yeah, it's not my color scheme, but it's a great looking watch. There's a lot going on here. I mean, my buddy Carlos just bought the Tudor black base steel, the one I like that's been discontinued. He just bought it. Then Jason, a geneticist that I know through social media, he's like one of the top researchers. He has a black base steel GMT. Then of course Lee has one, and I was just thinking, wow, this is a watch that really smart, talented people wear. Wow, do I even have the self-esteem for this? One interesting thing about this watch, when I put it on, a word came into my head that I've never used for any watch, and the word is confidence. This watch has confidence. I don't know where that word came from. It's so weird. In another term that I thought of when I put this on that I've never thought of when putting on a watch, this watch has the it factor. It really does have confidence in the it factor. Another thing I would tell you is it's a very bold watch. If you get this, you're not getting a cheap substitute for a Rolex. It's its own thing. It doesn't even have the desperate status seeking of a Rolex. It's almost more desirable in that regard. It's sort of under the radar, yet very confident watch. So I like it. Some other things I'm thinking about. Having a watch like this makes you wonder, what happens if you spend $3,500? You know, the black base steel, the one I like, which is all stainless, and it's not a GMT, but it's still the 70-hour power reserve, that's discontinued. They've gone up in price. They've gone up $500. You can still find them new for $3,500. They're kind of hard to find. Whew, you know, would I buy one? I don't know, man. I'll be 60 in October. Man, if I was 40, it'd be nice to have more of my life ahead of me to wear a watch like that. It's if I had a son to pass it on to. I don't have a son. I have 2 daughters. So a lot of thoughts, but ooh, I don't know if that would stop me from being a watch addict. I want it all. I'm a kid in the candy store. I'll think about the Tudor black base steel after putting this on. Yeah, the other watch that I like that's GMT is the Seiko Presage Sharp Edge that's out now. And I like that its case is not too much more slender than this. Apparently, from my research, all GMT watches have pretty thick cases. Now, the Seiko Presage GMT that just came out, there's a black dial one which would have been my first choice, but the more I look at them, and finally non-rendition versions are on YouTube and whatnot, I think I would have to get the blue dial. Oh yes, oh, you can see the detail of the dial better, and it's got more pop. I get the blue, and the thing is, people go, well, would you get the Seiko Presage GMT or the Tudor? Well, the problem is I want to have my cake and eat it too. I don't know that getting one would cancel my desire for the other. Welcome to being a watch obsessive. It's terrible. Then there is a new Citizen Mechanical diver that I have to have. So, welcome to watch addiction. So, I wanted you to know the story of how I got this watch. I was deceived. I was tricked. It has excellent wrist presence. You will find better deals on the GMT used than the Tudor black base steel, one that I like. You should be able to get these in mint condition for $3 or slightly under. And do I recommend it? Yes. My favorite part of this watch is the case right here from north to south. That long line there. It's absolutely gorgeous. And oh, one last thing before I get out of this joint. Last night I did a lume check because one of you asked me. And so I put an LED flashlight on this and on my Seiko SBDC 061, the first generation MM200. Both were amazing. I will say the 061 was better. This was about 80%. So then I was curious. I took this and my Captain Willard and my current generation MM200, the SBDC 125. This was equal. This was equal to those. It's excellent. It's not as good as my very best Seiko, but it's as good as the current generation of MM200s. Just wanted to share that with you. Yeah, this, if you're looking for a Swiss watch at this price point, definitely recommend it. Alright, I guess I need to make some videos where I compare this to my current collection, just so you can see size and proportion differences. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, till next time, I'm out.